Tom lived in a quiet town near the edge of the desert. He worked as a small machine fixer. He didn't have many friends, and most of his days were spent fixing old radios, drones, and broken farm bots. People in town liked Tom because he was kind and honest, but he mostly kept to himself. One evening, while the sun was setting and the sky turned gold, a local farmer came to him with something strange. "I found this near the old crash site," the farmer said, placing a dusty metal box on Tom's table. "Looks like part of a satellite." Tom cleaned the box carefully. It was made of shiny silver metal, with buttons and wires that didn't match anything he had seen before. At the center was a small glowing blue circle. Tom felt curious. He stayed up late in his workshop, checking the device. He connected it to a power supply. The lights on the box blinked, and the blue circle began to spin slowly. Suddenly, the blue light grew larger. It stretched, grew tall, and opened into a swirling circle of bright colors. It wasn't a light anymore. It looked like a door made of air and stars. Tom stood up quickly and stepped back. "What is this?" he whispered. The portal made a humming sound, almost like it was breathing. Then, without warning, a strong pull came from it. Before Tom could turn away, the portal pulled him in. Tom fell through light and wind. His eyes were closed, and everything felt weightless. After a few seconds, he hit soft ground. He opened his eyes slowly. The sky was not Earth's sky. It was teal blue, with two moons shining above. The trees nearby had silver leaves, and the air smelled sweet, like flowers and rain mixed together. Strange birds with bright wings flew across the sky. Tom sat up. "Where am I?" He tried to find the portal behind him, but it was gone. Only a circle of soft grass remained where he had landed. He stood and walked toward a small hill. At the top, he saw a shining city in the distance. The buildings looked like tall crystals. Lights floated between the towers, and gentle music echoed in the air, like wind chimes. As he stared, he heard a sound behind him, footsteps. Tom turned. A group of tall people in silver clothes stood there. Their skin had a soft glow, and their eyes were a deep green. One of them spoke in a language Tom didn't understand. But then another touched a small stone on their arm, and the words became clear. "You are not from here," said the tallest one. "Come with us. The princess is waiting." They led Tom through wide paths filled with soft lights. People stared but didn't look angry, just curious. Some children pointed and smiled. The city was even more beautiful up close. Roads floated above the ground, and small animals shaped like deer walked calmly among the people. The air was warm and calm, like a soft blanket. Finally, they reached a tall palace made of clear crystal. Inside, everything shimmered. Water flowed through glowing channels, and plants grew up the walls. At the center of the palace stood a young woman. She had gentle eyes, long soft blue hair, and wore a silver crown, shaped like a flower. Her dress was light and flowed like it was part of the wind. She smiled as Tom entered. "Welcome, traveler," she said kindly. "I am Princess Mira. The stars told me you would come." Tom was confused. "The stars? What do you mean?" Mira walked closer. "Our world is called Valora. It has many secrets. Long ago, a great crystal chose protectors from other worlds. You are one of them. I didn't choose to come here." Tom said, "I was just fixing a machine." A portal opened and pulled me in. Mira nodded gently. "The crystal watches those who are ready to help. You fixed the key, even if you didn't know it." Tom looked around. Everything was too perfect, too strange. "Can I go back?" he asked. Mira paused, then said, "Not yet. The portal that brought you is one way for now. Only when the crystal allows, it will open again. So, I'm stuck here." Mira placed a hand on her chest and said softly, "For now, yes. But don't worry, you are safe here, and your arrival means hope for us. You are not just a visitor. You are part of a great story." Tom didn't know what to feel. The world was beautiful, and Mira seemed kind. But he didn't ask for this. He wanted to go home, back to his tools and simple life. Still, something in Mira's eyes made him stay calm. She smiled and said, Come, let me show you your room. Tomorrow, I will tell you more." As the guards led him away, Tom looked back at Mira. She watched him with a quiet look, full of mystery and something else he couldn't name. Whatever this place was. Tom woke up in a soft bed, far softer than anything he had ever slept on before. The room was round, with clear walls that glowed gently outside. He could see a garden filled with floating lights and silver-leaf trees. Birds with long tails sang peaceful songs. He rubbed his eyes, so it wasn't a dream. He got up and touched the wall. It felt cool, like smooth glass, but it also pulsed gently, like it was alive. A soft sound came from a small speaker near the door. "Good morning, Tom. Princess Mira will meet you in the Sun Hall." He stepped out of the room and followed. Glowing lines on the floor. The palace was quiet, but it didn't feel lonely. Plants grew along the walls, and water flowed in clear channels on the floor, giving a calm feeling everywhere. When Tom entered the Sun Hall, Mira was already there. She stood near a wide window, looking at the 2 moons in the sky. "Did you sleep well?" she asked kindly. Tom nodded. "Better than I ever have. This place, it's beautiful." Mira smiled. "It's called the Crystal City. Long ago, our people built it with the help of the Heartstone, the living crystal at the center of our world. It gives energy to everything. It helps our food grow, powers our homes, and keeps the balance of our world." Tom looked at her carefully. "And you said I was brought here because the crystal needs help?" Mira turned to him. "Yes, the Heartstone is losing energy. We don't know why, but ancient writings say only someone from another world, someone with a heart unconnected to Valor, can safely enter the crystal core." Tom frowned. "And what happens if no one helps?" Mira looked sad. Then slowly, "Our world will fade. The sky will darken. The fields will stop growing. The crystal will sleep. And so will we." Tom looked out the window. Everything outside seemed perfect, but now he knew it was not. "I still don't understand why it chose me," he said. Mira walked closer. "Because you fix things. You have a quiet heart and careful hands. That matters more than you know." Over the next few days, Tom explored the city with Mira and learned more about the people of Valora. The roads didn't use cars. Instead, floating platforms carried people gently above the ground. The markets were full of soft-colored fruits, cloth that changed color, and tiny music boxes that sang without power. He saw children learning from glowing books and artists painting with brushes made of light. Everyone smiled at him, though some whispered softly when he passed. The star guest, they called him. Mira introduced him to her council, a group of kind elders. They told him old stories about other visitors from the star, some who stayed, some who helped and left, and some who were never seen again. Tom also learned that the portal that brought him was one of many, hidden and forgotten. Most were now broken. Only the crystal knew how to open them again. One afternoon, Tom asked Mira, "If the crystal is so important, why not fix it yourself?" Mira looked down. "Because we're part of this world. If we touch the heart directly, we risk harming it or losing ourselves. It needs someone outside. That's why we need you." Tom thought for a while. He wanted to help, but he also missed Earth's quiet workshop, the dusty streets, even the sound of wind on the roof. "And what if I help? Can I go home after that?" Mira looked into his eyes. "If the crystal allows it, yes, but it may not open the portal again. It chooses what is best." That answer didn't make him feel better, but he also saw that Mira wasn't trying to trap him. She looked tired, like someone carrying a heavy burden. One evening, while walking alone in the palace garden, Tom met someone new. A quiet man with short white hair and simple clothes was planting flowers. "Hello," Tom said. The man looked up and smiled. "You're the visitor. I'm Reen. I take care of the gardens." Tom sat beside him. "This place is peaceful, too peaceful, like it's hiding something." Reen chuckled softly. "Even beautiful things have secrets. You're right to wonder. Have others come here like me?" Tom asked. Reen nodded. "Yes, a few. Long ago. Some stayed. Some vanished. None returned." Tom felt a chill. Why? Reen looked at the moon above. Because once the crystal touches your heart, it changes you, and not everyone wants to go back. Tom didn't know how to reply. He looked at the soft plants swaying in the breeze. Reen continued, Mira is not a bad person, but her world is her heart. She would do anything to save it. Tom stood up. Thanks, I think. Reen smiled again. Be careful. Kindness can also be a cage. The next morning, Mira invited Tom to the edge of the city, where the energy fields flowed through glowing stones. They stood together, watching the river of light move through the hills. This is the edge of our power, Mira said. The light grows dim here. That's why we don't build farther. Tom knelt beside one of the glowing stones and placed his hand on it. It was warm, and it pulsed like a heartbeat. He looked at Mira. When do I see the crystal core? Mira looked at him gently. Soon. But first, you must learn to listen. The crystal doesn't speak in words. It speaks in feelings. Tom nodded. He didn't fully understand this world, but part of him felt connected already. The light, the wind, the voices, everything moved like a song. But in the back of his mind, one thought remained clear. I want to go home. I just hope helping them won't make me forget that. Tom walked through the palace garden almost every evening. The flowers there were unlike any on earth. Some glowed gently in the dark. Others sang soft notes when the wind touched them. It was peaceful, but Tom's heart still felt heavy. He missed Earth's small workshop, his tools, the dusty roads of his town. Here, everything was soft and beautiful, but it didn't feel like home. As he walked near a silver tree with floating petals, he saw someone sitting on a bench. It was Reen, the quiet gardener he had met before. Hello again, Tom said. Reen smiled. Still not used to this place, Tom sat beside him. It's beautiful, but beauty isn't the same as freedom. Reen looked at the silver petals, falling around them. That is true. There was silence for a moment. Then Tom asked, You said others came before me. What happened to them? Reen looked at the sky before answering. Some gave their heart to this world. They became one with it. Others tried to leave. The crystal didn't open the way for them. Tom frowned. And what about you? You don't look like the others here. Reen gave a quiet smile. I came here long ago. I was younger then, curious, like you. But after a while, I stopped asking to go home. Tom was surprised. So, you're human too? Reen nodded. Yes, but I've been here so long. The city feels more like home now. Tom looked down. I don't want that to happen to me. Reen touched a small flower beside him. Then keep remembering where you came from, and keep asking questions. The next day, Princess Mira invited Tom to visit the Hall of Memory. It was a quiet place under the palace. The walls were made of soft stone, and glowing symbols floated in the air. Each symbol held a memory of the past. Mira touched one of the symbols, and a vision appeared. It showed a group of people, some from Valora, others from other worlds. They stood around the glowing heartstone, the living crystal at the center of their planet. These were the first protectors, Mira said. They helped us build this world. Without them, Valora would not exist. Tom watched as the vision faded. So, they all stayed? Mira nodded. Most of them did. The crystal gave them a new purpose. A new home? Tom asked. Did anyone return to their world? Mira looked thoughtful. One or two. Maybe. But the portal is not like a door. It doesn't open with machines. It listens to the crystal. And the crystal listens to the heart. Tom didn't say anything. He just stared at the glowing stone in the center of the room. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. Later that night, Tom sat with Reen again in the garden. I saw the Hall of Memory, Tom said. They say the crystal chooses who can leave. Reen nodded. That is what they believe. But the truth is simpler. The crystal is not a god. It's just very old and very powerful. It reacts to feelings. Tom looked confused. Feelings? Yes, Reen said. Fear, hope, love, pain. It feels what you feel. It bonds with those who spend time near it. The longer you stay, the more it connects to you. Tom thought for a moment. Then what if I don't want it to connect? Reen looked at him seriously. Then don't lose yourself. This world is beautiful. But beauty can also be a soft prison if you forget who you are. The crystal will think you belong here. Tom felt a chill inside. He remembered how Mira looked at him, kind, but also a little too hopeful. Over the next few days, Mira spent more time with Tom. She showed him the floating farms, the wind bridges, and the singing towers everywhere they went. People bowed to her and smiled at Tom. "You are becoming part of this world," Mira said one afternoon as they sat by a water garden. "Do you feel it?" Tom didn't answer right away. "I feel welcome, but not free." Mira looked surprised. "You are free, Tom. You can walk where you want, eat what you like, speak to anyone." Tom shook his head. "But I can't leave." "That's not freedom." Mira's face became quiet. "Would you really go back? To a place where no one knows your name, where you are alone?" Tom looked at her. "It's still my world, even if no one waits for me there." She said nothing. Instead, she picked a small glowing flower and handed it to him. "Keep this. It only opens at night." Like some hearts, that night, Tom couldn't sleep. He held the glowing flower in his hand and walked quietly through the halls. He found his way back to the sealed east tower, the one Mira had told him not to enter. The door was locked, but his crystal ID badge opened it. Inside, it was dark and dusty. Old machines, scrolls, and strange tools were stored there. But what caught his eye were the Earth objects: a radio, a book written in English, a picture of a human man standing beside a Veloran. Tom stepped closer. The photo was old and faded, but the man looked a lot like Reen Dai. He turned the photo around. On the back, it said, "To Reen, from your brother. Earth misses you." Tom's hand shook. He really is from Earth. Suddenly, he heard soft footsteps. It was Mira. She stood at the doorway, not angry, but calm. "You found the room," she said softly. Tom turned to her. "Why didn't you tell me about the others? About Reen?" Mira walked in slowly. "Because I didn't want you to worry. This world needs someone like you. Someone who sees the beauty but still asks why." Tom's voice was quiet. "But you're not giving me a choice. You're asking me to forget everything and stay." Mira didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Sometimes the heart must choose between two homes, one of memory and one of meaning." Tom looked down at the photo again. He didn't say it aloud, but in his heart, he thought, "I haven't chosen either one. Not yet." Tom couldn't stop thinking about the picture he had found in the old tower. The man in the photo was clearly from Earth, and it seemed he had been close to Reen. It confirmed everything Reen had told him. Others had come here. Some had stayed. Some had never returned. The next morning, Tom walked quietly through the palace garden. Reen was watering blue plants that moved gently when touched. Tom held up the photo. "This was you, wasn't it?" Reen looked at it for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. "Yes, that was taken just before I stopped asking to go home." "Why didn't you leave when you had the chance?" Tom asked. Reen sat down on a stone bench. "The portal only opened once more after I arrived, but by then, I had already changed my thoughts. My heart, they weren't the same anymore." Tom sat beside him. "But now I've seen the proof. You were human once, just like me." Reen smiled a little. "I still am, just different now." Tom looked at the silver trees in the distance. "I don't want to change like that. I want to go home. I want to remember who I am." Reen nodded. "Then you must be careful. The more you connect with this place, the harder it becomes to leave." Later that day, Princess Mira took Tom to the royal library. It was a large hall with floating books and glowing maps. The walls changed colors with the light. "I wanted to show you something," she said. She touched a blue crystal in the center of the room. A large image appeared in the air. It was a moving map of Velora, the planet. At its heart was a large glowing crystal, the Heartstone. "The Heartstone is deep beneath our city," Mira said. "It has been growing weak over many years. We've tried everything, but the writings say only a visitor from another world can reset its balance." Tom looked at the map carefully. "And when do I go there?" "Soon," Mira said. "But it's not just about touching the crystal. You must be ready to face what it shows you. The crystal speaks through feeling. It shares thoughts and memories. if your heart is not steady. It may confuse you. Tom asked, "What happens if I fail?" Mira looked serious. "Then our world will begin to fade. Slowly, quietly. The light will go first, then the rivers, then the life." Tom said nothing. The weight of her words hung in the air. That night, Tom couldn't sleep. Again, he walked through the palace halls until he found himself back near the sealed tower, the same place where he had found the photo. The door was still open from before. He stepped inside and explored further. Behind some old storage shelves, he discovered a hidden staircase going down. He took a small glowing stone for light and followed the steps. At the bottom, he found a second chamber, older than the first. There were machines here too, but most of them were broken or rusted. On one wall, he saw drawing strange symbols and star maps. One of the drawings showed a human figure standing next to a portal. Another drawing showed the same figure with crystals growing around him. It looked like a warning. Beside the wall was a small book, old and worn. Inside were notes written in English. The crystal is alive. It watches, it learns. The more time you spend near it, the more it becomes part of you. If you stay too long, it doesn't let go. Tom's hand shook slightly as he closed the book. It wasn't just Mira's people who believed in the power of the crystal. Someone from Earth had felt it too and had left a warning behind. The next day, Tom decided to speak with Mira directly. She met him in the Moon Hall, where soft light poured in from above. "I found the second chamber," Tom said, "and the journal." Mira's expression didn't change, but her eyes looked tired. "You weren't supposed to see that yet," she said softly. "Why not?" Tom asked. "You knew this crystal could change people. You knew others had been lost here." Mira walked to the window. "Yes, I knew. But I didn't lie to you, Tom. I never said it was easy. I only said our world needed you." Tom stepped forward. "I'm not trying to hurt your world. I just don't want to lose myself in it." Mira turned to face him. Her voice was calm. "I understand. But please also understand me. I've grown up knowing the crystal is fading. My people look to me for answers. I would do anything to save them, even ask someone from another world to stay." There was silence between them for a long moment. Then Mira said gently, "You still have time, Tom, time to decide." The next few days passed quietly. Tom spent more time with Reen, who showed him how to grow the silver plants and use the soft soil of Velora. The plants responded to gentle sound and touch. It was peaceful work, and sometimes Tom forgot where he was. But each evening, he reminded himself, "This is not home." Not yet. Reen noticed his silence one day and said, "The crystal will ask you a question when you meet it. You must answer with your whole heart." Tom asked, "What kind of question?" Reen smiled sadly. It doesn't checked. The day finally came. A soft bell rang through the crystal city, and the sky above Velora turned a deep glowing blue. Two moons moved slowly toward each other, and a golden line appeared between them. It was a rare moment, and Mira had told Tom it was the right time. "The Heartstone is ready," Mira said as she walked beside him. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were serious. "The crystal will open for you today." Tom followed her through the palace, then into a long tunnel that curved downward. The walls glowed with slow pulses of light white, blue, and green. The air felt thicker down here, like it carried memories. Reen waited at the entrance of the final chamber. He handed Tom a small round stone. "This will help guide you," Reen said quietly. "If you get confused, just hold it and breathe. It connects to your own heart, not the crystals." Tom took the stone and nodded. "Thanks, Reen." Mira looked at Tom. "Are you ready?" Tom didn't know if he was truly ready, but he said, "Yes." The door to the Heartstone chamber opened slowly. A soft humming sound came from inside, like singing without words. The room was round and large, and in the center floated a huge glowing crystal. It was shaped like a star, with soft edges and light shining in every direction. Tom stepped inside. A lone dot as soon as he entered. The door behind him closed gently. The humming grew louder, but it wasn't noise, it was more like feeling. He could hear it in his chest, not his ears. He walked closer to the crystal. It pulsed slowly, like a living thing. Then the room changed. Suddenly, Tom was no longer in the chamber. He stood in the middle of his workshop back on Earth. His tools were on the table. His old jacket was hanging near the door. Outside the window, he saw the dusty road of his town. He blinked. What is this? Then he heard a voice, not from a mouth, but inside his mind. It was soft, like a breeze. This is your heart. This is where you began. The crystal was showing him memories. The scene changed again. Now Tom saw the day the portal pulled him in. He saw himself falling through light, landing in the forest of Velora. He watched his own face, surprised, afraid, confused. The voice returned. You are not lost, but you are changing. Tom began to feel strange. The images kept shifting places, faces, memories, and dreams. He saw Mira smiling. He saw Reem planting flowers. He saw the people of Velora bowing and calling him star guest. He saw two paths. One path led back to his old life, quiet, simple, alone. The other path showed him standing beside Mira in a city full of light. He was helping rebuild, growing gardens, teaching others. But he looked different. His eyes were brighter. His face was peaceful. Tom held the stone Reem gave him. He took a deep breath. I don't want to forget who I am, he said out loud. The light around him softened. The voice returned, even quieter this time. Then choose with truth, not with fear, not with pressure, only truth. Suddenly, the room returned to normal. Tom was back inside the crystal chamber. The heartstone floated quietly, glowing with warm light. He walked forward and placed his hand on it. The light surrounded him. For a moment, he couldn't see anything. Then, slowly, it faded. The humming stopped. The room was silent. Then the door opened. Mira and Reem stood outside, waiting. Mira looked worried, but when she saw Tom's face, her eyes softened. You're back, she said gently. Tom nodded. I touched the crystal. I saw many things. And did it listen to you? Reem asked. Tom opened his hand. The stone Reem had given him now glowed with soft white light. I think it did. The morning sun bathed the crystal city of Velora in soft golden light. Tom stood by the window of his new room, watching the gentle movement of silver leaves outside. The city was alive with quiet energy. Birds sang softly, and the light from the heartstone still pulsed gently in the distance. For the first time since he had arrived, Tom felt calm. Mira entered the room quietly, carrying 2 cups of warm tea made from the glowing flowers. In the garden, good morning, she said with a soft smile. Tom took a cup and smiled back. Good morning. I never thought I'd say this, but I think I'm ready to stay here. Mira's eyes sparkled with happiness. That means a lot to me, Tom. Velora has waited for you for a long time. Tom looked down at his hands. It's not an easy choice. I still think about Earth, about my old life. Mira sat beside him. I understand. Earth will always be part of you. But here, you can build something new. Tom nodded slowly. I want to help this world grow. I want to be part of its future. Days passed like gentle waves. Tom learned to work with the people of Velora. He helped build new floating gardens, designed simple machines that made daily life easier, and shared stories of Earth with the curious children. Mira and Tom grew closer. They walked together under the 2 moons, talked about dreams, hopes, and fears. One evening, as they stood by the heartstone, Mira took Tom's hand. You have changed more than the crystal ever could, she said softly. Tom smiled. And you have shown me the meaning of home. Suddenly, a soft humming filled the air. The heartstone glowed brighter than ever before. Lights danced like fireflies around them. Mira looked up. The crystal thanks you. Tom felt a warm feeling in his chest. It was like the city, the people, and the crystal were all connected. To him, weeks turned to months. Tom never forgot Earth. But Velora was no longer strange. It was home. One day, Reem came to visit him in the garden. You've done well, Reem said quietly. The crystal is strong again. Tom smiled. Thanks to Mira's hope and all the people here. Reem looked thoughtful. You made a choice few could make. Tom looked at the glowing flowers around them. It wasn't just my choice. It was hers too. Mira trusted me, and I trusted her. Reen nodded. That trust saved Valora. But life on Valora wasn't always easy. Sometimes, Tom missed the sound of rain on Earth, the feeling of rough soil in his hands, or the taste of a simple meal from his childhood. Mira understood this. One evening, she said, "Tom, no matter where we carry our past inside us. But the future is ours to make." Tom looked at her. "I want to keep making that future with you." Mira smiled. "And I'm with you, years past." Tom became a leader among the people, not by power but by kindness and skill. Under his and Mira's guidance, Valora flourished. New plants bloomed, the skies stayed bright, and the people's hearts stayed full of hope. One night, under the two moons, Tom and Mira stood on a hill overlooking the city. Tom took Mira's hand. "This place took me from Earth, but it gave me something more." Mira nodded. "And you gave it life again." They looked at the glowing heartstone in the distance, a symbol of their shared journey together. They dreamed of a future where many worlds might find friendship, hope, and new beginnings. The battle was over. The dangerous aliens were defeated, and the ship was calm again. John stood in the center of the control room, breathing slowly. He felt tired but strong. Around him, the allies looked relieved and happy. Mira came close to John. She smiled softly. "You did well. You showed them the true strength of humans." John looked around at the alien faces. Many of them were no longer afraid. Some even smiled back at him. It was a feeling he had never known before. Hope, Rao, the kind alien leader, stepped forward. "John, your courage helped us win. Now, the council will listen. They see humans in a new way." John felt proud but also thoughtful. "What happens now? What about the injection?" Mira explained. "The injection was made to help humans live here safely. It is a secret because not everyone is ready to understand it. But you are ready." John nodded. "I want to help both humans and aliens. Maybe I can be a bridge between our worlds." The others agreed. They promised to work together for peace. John felt a new purpose. Days passed, and John learned more about the ship and the aliens. He trained to control his new abilities even better. Mira stayed by his side, a true friend and guide. One day, John looked out from the ship's window. He saw stars shining brightly, far away from Earth but full of promise. He whispered to himself, "This is just the beginning." John smiled, ready for the future, a future where humans and aliens could live together in peace and friendship. The secret injection was only the first step in a great adventure, and John was ready to face whatever came next.